Saturday morning and I'm leaving Luang Prabang on my way to Nong Khiaw. It's about 10:30 in the morning. The TikTok picked me up from the bus, picked me up from the hotel, and now we just got into this bus here. We just got into this bus and it's quite old and it's going to be a bloody long hard trip. Just look at the road. So the roads are shocking, and this is why it takes so long to get around Laos by bus. Somebody, the little girl at the hotel said 3 hours it might take. Then I spoke to another guy and he said, oh, it could take 5 hours because of this. See, we're down to about 2 kilometres an hour at the moment. There's a big semi-trailer up in front, which is struggling to get through it. All the potholes, some of them are 1 foot deep, 2 foot deep, that big one there. So this is going to be a hell of a trip. Anyway, can't do anything about it now. I'm on the bus. Now this is my 4th stop since I've been in Laos. I've been to Vientiane, Vang Vieng, Luang Prabang, and now I'm heading to Nong Khiaw, approximately 142 kilometres north in northern Laos on the Nam Oi River. This bus trip's expected to take approximately 4 hours, but nobody could really say for sure. The bus trip cost me 240,000 Laos kip, which is equivalent of about $11 USA and $17.50 Australian. So quite cheap way of getting around Laos. In fact, it's the only way to get to Nong Khiaw, unless you want to go by canoe or a longboat down the river. That's how it was done previously before this road was opened up. And bear in mind, this road that I'm on is a major arterial road in Laos. It's very narrow. The driver I've got here is quite a young Laos guy, so I was a bit concerned, but he turned out to be okay. Slow progress. I reckon we average about 25 kilometres an hour. If he gets a decent stretch of road, he might get up to about 30, 35. But a lot of it is around corners. And there's so many holes in the road that we're down to about 1 or 2 kilometres an hour as he slows down to go through the holes. Then you get caught behind big semi-trailers who virtually the walking speed. So he's driving well, but I had to have a go at him earlier. He was driving, trying to text message as he was driving, and I yelled at him. I said, put it down, and he
doesn't understand English, of course, but he put it down. See, so when there's big holes in the road like this, everybody has to stop and pick the best path. And you wait for the oncoming traffic to pick the path, and then they wait for them to go, then we'll use it.
Travelling in Laos like this on the bus can be tiresome, it can be tedious, but I enjoyed it. You got the beautiful scenery. That's the number one selling point coming like this. This road tended to stay on the river, so there's lots of mountains, lots of greenery, rainforest, jungle. You go through small villages. It's very rural. This getting into northern Laos here, very, very poor. A lot of the villages had no name. You couldn't see any naming. But I enjoy getting out into areas like this where you can see the local community, how they live. Nong Khiaw's only a very small village too, evidently, so I believe it's smaller than Vang Vieng. But as you can see, we're going at a reasonable pace here through the small village. We didn't stop. I think we only stopped once on the way. Now this is amazing. All of a sudden you're driving through a poor area and all of a sudden you see a huge mansion like that. It was just incredible. That wasn't unusual. I reckon I saw about 5 or 6 of that style of house. Just on the outskirts of these small, poor little villages, you'd see the house like that and you wondered, who the hell lives in it? But once again, the road's been washed away here. This was pretty common. It's a very, very narrow road. When you consider that the semi-trailers heading from Luang Prabang heading north, Laos use this road. So you couldn't, here's one now in front of us, we couldn't pass very often. So I thought I'd take this opportunity just to talk about Laos. If you're watching this, you've never been to Laos. Well, it's my first trip as well here. So first impressions is Laos is a beautiful country. As we can see on this trip to Nong Khiaw here, everything is green. The mountains, the jungle, the rainforest, the low hanging cloud in the mountains. It's a beautiful scenic country. And for those of you probably in Europe, you probably see a lot more of this than what I do coming from Southern Australia. The second thing is it's an uncomplicated country. It's a very gentle people. It is the second poorest country in Southeast Asia. So that explains a little bit about the lack of infrastructure and development, but the people seem happy. they just seem like, well, it's a country that's thousands of years old, and the people just seem like their day-to-day life is just something they're used to. They don't complain. It's a very slow-paced society in every city I've been to. But yes, it's worth going to, even at my age, and probably some people would say, well, my age, why are you going to Laos? But I don't. I enjoyed my time in everywhere I've been so far. Nong Khiaw is supposed to be even smaller than Vang Vieng. So yeah, I would recommend it, all age groups. As you can see, I was the only Westerner on the bus. I think just about everybody on this bus trip is a local Laotian, either coming home from Luang Prabang or going to the home village. But as you can see, yeah, look, it is. You look at this, you think it's a very narrow road. You know, traffic going both ways. Yes, it is dangerous. By Western standards, it is dangerous. But when you're in Laos, you get used to this. You just have to accept it, that this is the way it is. And the trucks come, you have to overtake them. They overtake on corners, and they do things which are a bit frightening for the Westerner who's not used to that. But the main thing is we got there. We got there, and there was even rain. There was pooling over the roads. There were motorbikes. There was semi-trailers. But that's all part of it. So here we are, we've arrived in Nong Khiaw bus station, just on the outskirts of the village. 142 k's, took us 4 hours roughly, so a long trip, thank God that's over.
Yeah, it's an old Toyota commuter bus, and she's old. And knocked her out. And I'd hate to think how many kilometres it's done.